Welcome to the Explainer. We're all talking about how to govern AI, right? Safety, alignment, all that stuff. But what if we're asking the wrong questions? Today, we're diving into an essay that makes a fascinating argument, that the real challenge with AI isn't about the code, it's about a fundamental choice we've been avoiding for a very, very long time.
I mean, this is the question on everyone's mind. But according to this essay, the answer isn't actually about technology. It's about confronting a deep, philosophical choice about how we want to live together. A choice that we've been trying to sidestep for ages.
And that's the whole premise of Andrew Corner's essay, AI Governance and the Crisis of Human Dignity. He's basically saying that the rise of AI isn't creating some brand new problem. Nope, it's just a giant spotlight, forcing us to finally deal with a really old one.
So the argument is that we're standing at a kind of fork in the road. For a long time, we've been trying to have it both ways, kind of walking down the middle. But AI is the thing that's finally making us pick a lane.
So let's break this down. What exactly is this fork in the road? Corner frames it as this huge decision between two competing visions for how we see people, how we see power, and what we think society is even for.
Okay, to really get this, we have to dig into two totally different ideas of what a right even is. This distinction right here, it's the engine driving this entire argument. So pay close attention to this part.
The first path is all about what are called negative rights. The easiest way to think about them is like shields. They're about what cannot be done to you. They're there to protect you, the individual, from the power of the state or any other big system.
And then you have the second path, which is based on positive rights. Now, these aren't shields, they're more like provisions or guarantees. They define justice by what a system must deliver to people, things like healthcare, housing, safety. But to guarantee those outcomes, a system needs more power, not less.
And this is where you can really see the two worldviews clash. The negative rights view starts with the idea that your dignity is just there, it's inherent, and because of that, power has to be restrained to protect you. The other view, positive rights, starts with a goal, a managed outcome, and to get there, power has to be expanded to administer the whole group.
So the whole negative rights path, it's driven by one core question. What must never be done to a person, even if it's for the good of everyone else? The focus is on drawing moral lines in the sand that you just do not cross. Period.
But the positive rights path asks something completely different. It asks, how should we arrange society to produce the correct outcomes? See the shift? This turns society into an engineering problem, something to be designed, managed, and optimized.
Now, Corner's big claim is that for decades, we've been drifting, almost unconsciously, down that second path, the path of positive rights. And this has led to what he calls a managerial mindset.
So how did that happen? Well, the idea is that as society got way more complex, we started handing off big problems to experts, and the focus slowly shifted from debating why we should do something to just figuring out how to do it efficiently. The good stopped being this deep philosophical thing we all argued about and just became another problem for a manager to solve.
And this quote just nails the end point of that whole drift. Once you start seeing society as a complicated machine to be managed, like a spaceship, you start wanting engineers, not citizens. You want command hierarchies, not messy moral debates.
All right, and this is where AI crashes the party. Because into this world that's already obsessed with management and optimization, AI shows up as the perfect, most powerful tool anyone could have ever dreamed of.
I mean, if your goal is to manage a complex system, AI is basically a dream come true, right? It promises to smooth out all the messy, unpredictable human parts and make everything efficient and predictable. It offers total control at a scale that's just impossible for humans.
But, and this is the huge but in the essay, what happens to our rights in a world like that? Well, when an AI is in charge of delivering those positive rights, they kind of stop being rights at all. They just become conditional privileges. Your access to housing isn't a right anymore, it's the output of a risk assessment model.
You know, we often hear that AI is neutral, but the author here makes a really powerful point. He says AI isn't neutral at all. It's more like a giant mirror that just reflects the values of whoever built it. And if those values are purely managerial, all about efficiency and control, AI doesn't fix that. It just locks those values in and enforces them everywhere all at once. So this all leads to the final and maybe most important part of the argument. It's the author's big warning about where this path leads and what we stand to lose.
The claim here is that a system,
Any system built only for optimization, even a super-intelligent AI, can't actually answer this question. A system can calculate value, sure, but it can't understand worth. It can manage a population, but it can't really grasp the idea of an individual life that is sacred or inviolable.
And this table really just lays out the two paths, side by side. It's the whole choice in a nutshell. On one side, you have the dignity-first framework. Here, rights are inherent, humans are moral subjects, and AI is just a tool. On the other, the system-first framework. Rights are granted, humans are data points, and AI becomes the administrator. That's the fork in the road.
And the essay leaves us with this final, pretty haunting thought. The argument, at the end of the day, is that this whole debate about AI governance isn't really about technology. It's about us. It's about whether we still remember and are willing to fight for what makes us human in the first place.